We the Peoples, A Look at the United Nations by Lisa Harkrader. Introduction. In 1945, nearly 10,000 people from 50 nations gathered at the War Memorial Opera House in San Francisco. The world had just been through 6 years of fear and hardship. It had seen bloodshed and horror. But the people at the Opera House were filled with hope. They had important work to do. They believed the suffering would soon be over. And if they had anything to say about it, that kind of suffering would never happen again. It would take them 2 months, but when they were finished, they would give the world a remarkable gift: the Charter of the United Nations, UN. The United Nations is an organization made up of nearly 200 nations from around the globe. It has one goal: to keep peace. Ironically, this organization of peace was inspired by a deadly war, World War II. It was pulled into existence by strong, brave people who were determined to prevent another war like it. President Woodrow Wilson first had the vision of a League of Peaceful Nations 30 years before the outbreak of that war. 3 decades later, President Franklin D. Roosevelt had not only the vision, but also the skill to make it happen. His widow, Eleanor Roosevelt, was determined that the vision would include human rights. Dedicated peacemakers, such as Ralph Bunche and Dag Hammarskjöld, held on to the vision even in times of bitter conflict. More recently, leaders such as Kofi Annan have kept the vision meaningful in a new century. These people and others like them have taken to heart one of the principles of the UN Charter: to practice tolerance and live together in peace with one another as good neighbors. The UN has not stopped all war and suffering. It has not always kept peace. But for over 60 years, the United Nations has sought to make the world a place where peace is possible. Chapter 1. Setting the Stage. Throughout history, many world leaders have tried to prevent war. During the 1800s, the most powerful European nations formed the Concert of Europe. The Concert was an informal group. It did not have a charter or rules or fixed times to meet. Its main goal was preserving the balance of power between strong nations. Small nations had little say in what the large nations decided. In 1899, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia called for an international peace conference. Delegates of 26 countries met in The Hague, a city in the Netherlands. This meeting became known as the First Hague Peace Conference. Small nations and large nations sat side by side as equals. The conference drew up new laws for waging war. The laws banned weapons such as poison gas, expanding bullets, and bombs dropped from balloons. They laid out rules for better treatment of wounded soldiers, prisoners of war, and civilians. The conference also created the Permanent Court of Arbitration to settle global disputes. The court is known as the Hague Court or Hague Tribunal. The tribunal still exists today. The Second Hague Peace Conference took place in 1907. This time, 46 nations sent delegates. The Second Conference hammered out more rules of war and recommended that a Third Hague Peace Conference take place within 8 years. Before a third conference could take place, World War I broke out. World War I, 1914 to 1918. On July 28, 1914, Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand visited the city of Sarajevo in Bosnia. Bosnia is a region of the Balkan Peninsula in southeastern Europe. In 1906, Austria-Hungary had annexed the region. This angered the Balkan country of Serbia. Millions of Serbs lived in Bosnia. Serbs believed that Bosnia should be part of Serbia. As Franz Ferdinand and his wife drove through Sarajevo, a Bosnian Serb shot and killed them. Austria-Hungary believed the Serbian government had planned the shooting. Austria-Hungary declared war and invaded Serbia. France, Great Britain, and Russia came to Serbia's aid. Germany sided with Austria-Hungary. Other countries began taking sides. Soon, most of Europe and large parts of Africa, Asia, and North and South America.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?